first of all then, on the comeback trail, Mark Roberts, how's he coming along?
Yeah, all right. So he's outside running. He's running again today. Had a down day yesterday, so just progressing as we expected, really.
Chance for the weekend?
No, he's still a couple of weeks, something like that. But we're happy where he is. But we just have to be careful with him because obviously he's a big player for us, and hamstrings can be tricky, especially in sprinters. And Robbo's a quick player, so he relies a lot on his speed. So we have to make sure we get it right.
In terms of the others, is it still the same that Yanko, Payne, White, that's all after the international break?
Yeah, it's looking like after international break that we'll get them all back. Been out a while now, so it's pointless rushing them for one game and then missing them again with the important games coming up. So we've got to do it right with them, and hopefully we've had them all out all at once, and hopefully we'll get them all back all at once.
It is good actually, because we've spoken to you various different times about gluts of injuries. Well, now you can see the light at the end of the tunnel for a change.
Yeah, it is, but look, it's part and parcel of football. If we weren't getting injuries, I'd be thinking, are we working them hard enough, are we? But it's just the nature of the game. Sometimes a soft tissue injury, sometimes it's like Ceci and Stefan, nothing you can do about them, and part and parcel of the game. But the most pleasing thing for me, and we showed it last year, is we've just picked up 4 points in the games where we've had the least players available possible. Do you know what I mean? So it's been really pleasing. It's a good reflection on the mentality of the squad and the group, and it means a lot to me, stuff like that.
It's interesting, isn't it? Conor Hourihane was on Football Heaven last night saying that this group haven't really had that for about 18 months now. You've not had a 5-6 match winless run because it's just been all the way. So it probably has been a real test of character. Yeah,
well, that in terms of results never fazed me, never worried about that one little bit. I'm speaking more in terms of you're giving people opportunities, and that's what it's about. Every player in there has to show a hunger and a desire to play, but know that they're part of a team, and they win together and lose together. And one person being out, the people who've been out the team, I have to say, well, that's been injury, suspension, selection have been fantastic. The ones who've been in the team, and to a man, they helped Josh Kay through the game brilliantly on Saturday. And yeah, we got a good point, and I would have wanted 3, but the most pleasing thing was that. How they carried themselves, how they looked after a young player like that and still got the result. So I was over the moon with what I saw in terms of that, how they behaved, the character, and looking after one of their own.
And obviously Kay's the most recent one. There's been others too that have been involved in the squad when you've had selection issues. How have they made a name for themselves going forward then, and could they then still be involved if necessary now that some of the senior lads are getting back into the swing of things?
Yeah, if they perform well, they'll be involved with. And then you're looking long term. So my challenge to them and the club, and this is what we're about now, they need to be in a position next month, 6 months, 12 months, where all of a sudden we're not recruiting someone because we know we've got someone in the building who can do the job for us, and that's their goal. So by being involved and performing and training with the first team on a regular basis, they can start to bridge that gap and get closer to where we want them to be and where they need to be. So it's a long old process. You're lucky if you get someone who just jumps out, grabs it with both hands, and all of a sudden is better than a first team player that you've got. So we know we're trying to squeeze every little bit out of every little player, and the young players are no different.
How much of a feather is it in the club's cap that Hourihane has got more international recognition this week? He's back in the Republic of Ireland provisional squad for their next game.
Delighted. Well, me and Conor will be the same. We'll be delighted when he makes the final squad. I'd love him to get in. Deserves it. His football deserves it. And then there'll be another hurdle as well, and Conor will be the same. We'll just be thinking about that first cap. So one stage at a time, and it's him getting in that final squad. He's been at this stage before. So we'll be doing everything we can to help him get over the next hurdle.
So Burton then as a challenge, what do you make of them?
Tough team. The home record's great. You've seen the clubs who's gone there and really struggled, so we know it's going to be a massive test. I don't think it'll be a dissimilar game to when we went there last year. 2 teams sort of flying high in the league, performing well. Real war of attrition, if you like. High intensity, energy, work rate, and lots of quality on show. They've obviously changed their shape to last season, and it's suiting the players they've got, and I think that's a big reason why they're picking up results. So it'll be be a really interesting game.
Nigel Clough has cited the fact that some of the clubs that have been to Burton presumably have this delusions of grandeur and it's little old Burton and they don't turn up. Well, that's not something, Barnsley have been on both sides of that coin, haven't they, in the last 12-18 months?
Yeah, and we went there last year as well, so we know what it's all about. And I do think that's part of it. I think Nigel's spot on in what he says there, and they've used it to their advantage and caught teams out. But I don't think that's all it is. They've played really, really well, and imposed themselves on some good teams who's been in front of them. They did well at Leeds as well last week, performed well, and Leeds beat them with a couple of late goals. So they're a good side, and they've brought some experience in. So a lot of their signings have played at this level and got a number of games under the belt. So it's no sort of fluke for me that they're doing all right, especially at home.
It's no fluke, and it's a complete coincidence that on show on Saturday will be the youngest squad in the Championship and the oldest. I wonder, Barnsley's been the youngest, of course. I wonder what you make of that. They've just gone down a completely different route by signing you Williamsons of this world.
Yeah, they have, and like I said, that's their plan. So they wanted Championship-ready players or experience, and I thought our best chance of staying up is by getting those players, and that's great. Obviously, we go down a different route and thinking long term, and trying to bridge that gap over a long period of time, not making sort of short-term decisions that's going to cripple us in the long term. More decisions that gradually over time will get us closer to where we want to be. And at the minute, these boys in here are performing fantastically well and overachieving, but we need more. We always need more, and they know that, and they enjoy it. They enjoy that pressure put on them, because it's a pressure we put on ourselves. Forget the opposition. They turn up and we perform great, and we get beat. So what it's about us and gradually improving our performance and the decision making that's been catching us out at this level. Just keep learning and getting better and better and better until we are a team that wins every game.
I wonder though if you are about to enter a run of fixtures. With respect, the table suggests right now, well, you're above all of the next three opponents that you've got at the moment. Whether you have a real opportunity here, having got 4 points from 6, to really put a strong run of your own together here.
Yeah, we're always trying regardless. This league's crazy, you've seen that. Preston were right down there. They put a great run together, and by all accounts unlucky against Newcastle, and they're flying up the table. The two games where I thought we were below par this season, Brighton and Fulham beat teams at the top 5-0 at the weekend. So you can never be too harsh on yourself, but likewise you can never give yourself points and expect things. You've got to turn up and perform every single game, and times then that might not even be good enough. But I know now, and the players believe now, that when we do turn up and perform, we know we've got a great chance of winning.
Just finally, periodically we ask you about the contractual situations. A few lads who are up, and I know with one or two it's sort of let's wait and see what happens. But have the club made any manoeuvres to maybe tie one or two down before January, so that there isn't necessarily any potential that the squad might change?
Ongoing. That's all I can say. It's just ongoing. And the people know first, the club, and then the players, and that's it. That's exactly how it is. I love everyone and plays to bits, and I wouldn't want the squad to change. I'd be, selfish. You want to keep all your best players and add to them. So yeah, it's just ongoing all the time.
Done.
Right.
Paul, it's probably been one of the toughest periods in terms of, as you said earlier, injuries and suspensions. You've had quite a cut down squad in the last few weeks in this block between international breaks. If you could come through, well, obviously you've got the 4 points, 5 points in the whole international period. If you could come through with another win as well, that would really cap off a difficult period with a good total.
Yeah, well, we actually forget the injury suspensions. We gradually start getting them back. It's just the team that's in front of us, and it's pointless looking. Yeah, we've got 4 points from 2 games or 5 from whatever, or it's pointless because it's just the next game. And yeah, the sooner you get the points on the table and accumulate them, the better everyone feels, confidence, everything. But we know, and we speak a lot about, we can't always guarantee a point. We can guarantee us turning up and performing and trying his best, and making. If I make more good decisions than bad, and the players take it on board, and we can get that buy-in because we're all in it together and keep performing, then we'll keep picking up points. We know it's tough, and we've seen that. We've seen how sort of brutal the league is and unforgiving, and everybody finds that out, whether you're at the top or the bottom. So it's just a case of keep going to whatever's in front of you now. We've got a massive test, Burton away, because the good, strong side at home. So we know it's going to be big and tough. And the 3 points are, they're all important, like you say, but it's not a case of, it caps off this week. That's just 3 more points towards where we want to be.
When you look at November, I think there's only 3 fixtures in it, which is a lot less than there usually is in a month. Is it going to be a good month for, obviously, having time to get the injured players back? I know a lot of them are coming back, and also having plenty of time on the training pitch as well.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have the majority back before the next game after this one, which will be Wigan, and that's what we want. But you can see how quick it can change. That might change with Saturday's game. So you don't know. You can't bank on it. You can't count on it. But yeah, it is strange to have that fewer games in a month, 3 games in a month. So yeah, it is strange, but we'll just keep working. It gives you more time to plan for the next opponents in front, more time to practice on us and us getting better and putting some good work then for the forthcoming months where it does get really busy over Christmas.
You've obviously got Josh Scowen and Conor Horan coming back after suspension. That's a massive boost to have those players, and you've got quite a few central midfielders to pick from now. Yeah,
well, delighted. The plan was, we only sort of carried 3. Which is like, Championship we carried 3, and you run the risk of it happening what happened the weekend where you're just stuck with one recognised central midfielder. But to say that's what the young players are there for behind, and the fact that we performed well against Brentford as well, it was a no-brainer really to keep the same 10 players in their position and bring in the next midfielder to go and have a go. And as I said, they looked after him really, really well. But it is important that we get these players back. So we've got Scowie and Connor back, who've been great for us, and add Sam Morsey to them, and we've got 3 players who are performing really well in the Championship. So it's great.
And in Connor's absence, obviously you gave Sam Winnell the captaincy. It's good that you've got quite a few different players in there who've got the character to take the armband and be leaders. Yeah,
well, they're all. We challenge them all to be leaders in different ways. Everyone has to be, and like I say, it's not about one stepping up above the other. It's about leading by example and making good decisions on the pitch, giving good information. But I thought Sam was terrific again Saturday. He's someone who I like a hell of a lot. I like his character as well as how he plays, and it's good to give Sam challenges as well and keep him focused on what because he's got some real good strengths. And it's important that he knows that and he focuses on that and don't get distracted and carried away with anything else. It's about him performing to his best, because he can be a big asset for your team.
Is he all patched up after the...
Yeah, as ugly as ever, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Jacob Brown. He's obviously got his professional contract this week. It's great for him, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's been performing well since pre-season, really. Great to give him his debut away at Brentford, and like I say, his quality were winning 2-0 at the time. He's got tremendous work ethic. He'll compete, put himself about. So he's playing up top on his own. He's 2 centre backs. Noah had gone back and helped out for set plays. So again, there's Sam Winnell's role as well. So it was important that when we brought Sam off when he was tiring, that we had someone who we could trust to go on and do that sort of defensive work as well, because that's a big part of Brownlie's job.
And last question, Ryan Williams obviously come on in the last couple of games. I know you don't want to rush him or put too much pressure on him, but it's looking quite good for his recovery at the moment.
Yeah, and then he played again on Tuesday, 90 minutes, so we keep pushing him now. He knows he's on that long road back, and I'm really pleased he's going in the right direction for him and everyone in the club. And hopefully we can keep him fit now and keep pushing him. Yeah, it's just good and relief for him as well that he's back playing, because he'll feel different in his head now. He'll feel like a footballer again. When he's been sat in there not playing, you do get doubts and it's not nice. So yeah, I'm just pleased he's back.
So obviously it will be a big step up for him, because last time he was playing it was League One, but
Yeah.
obviously proved that he's a quality player in the past.
He has, yeah, and he is, and it is a big step up. Big step up for all our players. So the fact he's been out injured again, that's the point. But physically, he's looking in good shape. It's important that we keep him playing games and training every day, because there'll come a point where he's out there and he needs to be ready, and we have to give him the best possible chance to succeed when he does get that chance.
Paul, just wanted to double check all the illness gone now after last week, so they had a bit of a problem with that.
Yeah, but Davo was off Tuesday and yesterday, so he's back in today. So yeah, I think that's what 5 or 6 we've had with it. So yeah, Marley was struggling a little bit Saturday with it. Brad is obviously back now. Scowy Robbo over it. So yeah, hopefully we can nip it in the bud and no one else is off.
Fingers crossed Dave will be fine for Saturday coming.
Yeah, it'll be alright. He'll be training. He's training today, so we keep him away 48 hours. Hopefully it doesn't spread. But yeah, hopefully we've got shot of it.
Bit of a nightmare to deal with something like that, isn't it?
It is, on top of when we had all the injuries and then the suspensions. You're thinking, please no, but yeah, I think we've got through it.
And just on the centre mid position, a bit of a weird situation for you last week. Obviously, a bit of a selection issue there, and then this week, I guess you got a bit of a selection headache, if you like, because you've got Scam coming back in and Marcy's played well. Is it his to lose that position, Marcy? Because obviously he's had a decent run in the side and he's played well.
You're trying to get a team before I tell the players. Yes. Listen, all three of them have done great, and Sam had to be really patient because Scowie and Connor were doing really, really well. Start the season, and obviously we weren't picking up the results as performances probably merited. We get injuries, suspensions. Sam gets his chance and look better in every game. So it's great for me and the team and the club to have 3 midfielders like that. It also gives us the opportunity then again to play the 3 of them. Because I think if you've got a side with those 3 midfielders in your team, you're going to be strong. So that's an option that we've not had for a while as well. So it's all good. It's all good when you get all your players back fit.
And just finally on Burton, I've been reading that Clough said that he thinks it might be the toughest game of the season they've had so far. I mean, that shows he's obviously got real respect for your side and you.
Yeah, I think speaking to clubs and managers, especially after games, they have been very complimentary, which is nice, and I make sure the players know that. At least it's down to them. They've been working the socks off and they are performing well. And one of our targets and aims was at the start of the season that if we get beat, the team's going to have had to work hard to beat us. We're not naive enough to think we're going to win every game, but we can bring an aggression and a style of play that's difficult to cope with. And if a team beats us, they beat us, but I'd like to think they do have to work hard to beat us. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, sorry, go on.
So Nigel Clough likes to play 3 at the back, which can then be converted to a 5. He's also got some experienced players up front like Chris O'Grady. So what will you be looking for the side to do to make sure they can break down that possible 5 at the back for Burton? Yeah,
well, if it is a 5, then it means we've got good possession of the ball because they're attacking wing backs that they've got. And probably they are the key to how they play, their energy up and down the pitch. So at times it's a 5, let's say, but at times those wing backs are really high up the pitch, delivering the ball on one side and attacking the back post on the other. So as much as it's a 5, it's very much an attacking formation for them. But likewise, if they are really high and they've got a lot of the ball, then it's chances for us when we do regain and get our attacking players running at their back 3. So yeah, we know the strengths and weaknesses of their setup. But one thing we are sure about when we watch a play is that they're very good at it. So we know it's going to be tough. It's easier getting a game plan in there, but then you have to go and execute it against a side that's playing with a lot of confidence and belief. So we know it's going to be tough.
Yeah, as you said, they like to play pretty high up. Last game you had 20 shots of 8 on target. Will you be looking for more conversions from them shots? Because obviously only 2 goals from that, but 20 shots, it shows you're making the chances.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. We want to how we measure the games down. Like we encourage the players to be positive, play forwards, run forwards, crosses, shots. It's dead simple. Score more goals than the opposition, concede less than the opposition. And we try and keep it that simple. The tiny detail and that we put into the individual players and the team is to help us achieve that. But if you have that mindset, score goals, block shots, stop crosses. That at the end of the day, that is what the game's about. Do you know what I mean? You can be as fancy and as technical and as complicated as you want in the mid-third, but at the end of the day it's how good you do in both thirds of the pitch, the attacking third and defensive third. So it's something we look at to be really positive in attack, but I'd take 3 shots and 3 goals.
Finally, as mentioned before, not many games this month, 3 games, but after that you'll be going back into the busy Christmas period, so how will you be looking to move forward from this month?
Well, hopefully we'll have everyone back, so that'll be important to have the squad 100% healthy, everyone coming back, firing all cylinders and trying to get the place in the team, because the team's playing well at the minute, and that's how it is. And that's it, long may that continue. If we keep everyone fit and healthy, and we can keep playing with a tempo and an energy that promotes that style of play, I would say positive attacking football, then we'll be happy.